Here are myths about Venus that will help you drift off to sleep. These tales, blending ancient mythology and modern misconceptions, invite you to explore the mysterious allure of our celestial neighbor. 1. Venus is Earth's twin planet. Myth. Venus is often called Earth's twin because of its similar size, mass, and proximity to the Sun. This has led to the misconception that it might have a similar environment and potentially support life. Reality, despite its similarities in size and mass, Venus has a vastly different environment. It has a thick atmosphere composed mainly of carbon dioxide, with surface temperatures hot enough to melt lead around 475 degrees Celsius or 900 degrees Fahrenheit. Its atmospheric pressure is also about 92 times that of Earth's, making it an extremely hostile environment for life as we know it. 2. Venus is named after the Roman goddess of love and beauty. Myth. The planet Venus is named after the Roman goddess of love and beauty, which has led to many romantic and aesthetic associations with the planet. Reality. While it's true that Venus is named after the Roman goddess, this naming was done by ancient astronomers who were captivated by the planet's bright and striking appearance in the sky. The name reflects human cultural interpretations rather than any inherent qualities of the planet itself. 3. Venus as a morning star and evening star. Myth. Venus is sometimes referred to as the morning star or evening star, leading to myths that it was once two different celestial objects. Reality. Venus is indeed visible at different times either before sunrise or after sunset due to its orbit around the Sun. However, it is the same planet, and the differing names simply reflect its position relative to Earth and the Sun at different times of the year. 4. Venus is always covered in thick clouds. Myth. Venus is perpetually shrouded in thick clouds that prevent any view of its surface. Reality. While Venus does have a thick atmosphere and cloud cover composed primarily of sulfuric acid, radar mapping from missions like Magellan has allowed scientists to peer through these clouds and map the surface of the planet, revealing mountains, valleys, and volcanic plains. 5. Venus has an ocean. Myth. In early scientific speculation, some believed Venus might have oceans of water similar to Earth. Reality. Venus is far too hot to have liquid water. Any potential oceans evaporated long ago due to the runaway greenhouse effect, which has left the planet dry and barren. 6. Venus's surface is relatively young. Myth. The surface of Venus is geologically active and constantly renewing itself. Reality. This myth has some basis in fact, as the surface of Venus appears relatively young, geologically speaking, estimated to be about 300 to 500 million years old. However, this youthfulness is not due to ongoing geological activity, but likely due to a catastrophic resurfacing event that repaved the entire planet. 7. Venus is the brightest planet. Myth. Venus is the brightest object in the night sky, outshining all other planets and stars. Reality. Venus is indeed the third brightest object in the night sky after the Sun and the Moon, and the brightest planet visible from Earth. Its high albedo reflectivity and proximity to Earth make it exceptionally bright. 8. Venus could be terraformable. Myth. Some science fiction narratives suggest that Venus could be terraformed to make it habitable for humans. Reality. While intriguing, terraforming Venus would be an enormous challenge due to its extreme temperatures, high pressure, and toxic atmosphere. Current technology and understanding of planetary science make such a transformation far beyond our capabilities. 9. Venus's rotation is retrograde. Myth. Venus's retrograde rotation, it spins in the opposite direction to most planets in the solar system, is unique and unexplained. Reality. Venus's retrograde rotation is indeed unusual, but it is not entirely unique. Uranus also has a highly tilted axis. The leading theory suggests that this retrograde rotation could be the result of a massive collision early in Venus's history or complex gravitational interactions. 10. Venus's atmosphere is composed mostly of water vapor. Myth. Earlier scientific models and science fiction often depicted Venus as having a thick atmosphere of water vapor. Reality. Venus's atmosphere is composed mainly of carbon dioxide, about 96.5%, with clouds of sulfuric acid. The presence of water vapor is minimal, and any water that might have existed on Venus has long since been broken down and lost to space. 11. Venus has no magnetic field. Myth. Venus has no magnetic field, which has led to the belief that it is a completely magnetically inert planet. Reality. While Venus does not have a strong Earth-like magnetic field generated by a dynamo effect in its core, it does have an induced magnetosphere. This is created by the interaction of the solar wind with its ionosphere, providing some magnetic protection, though much weaker than Earth's. 12. The Venus flytrap is named after Venus. Myth. The Venus flytrap, a carnivorous plant, is named after the planet Venus due to some supposed connection between the plant and the planet. Reality. The Venus flytrap is actually named after Venus, the Roman goddess of love and beauty, not the planet. The name likely reflects the plant's allure and the intricate mechanism it uses to trap insects. 13. Venus was once habitable. Myth. Venus was once a habitable planet with conditions similar to early Earth. Reality. While some scientists speculate that Venus might have had liquid water and more temperate conditions in its distant past, current evidence suggests that its harsh greenhouse conditions have persisted for a very long time. The planet's history is still a subject of ongoing research, but it's unlikely it ever supported life as we know it. 14. Venus's clouds are made of water vapor. Myth. The clouds of Venus are primarily composed of water vapor, similar to Earth's clouds. Reality. Venus's clouds are composed mostly of sulfuric acid droplets. The atmosphere is extremely dry, with only trace amounts of water vapor present. 15. Venus experiences Earth-like seasons. Myth. Venus experiences seasons similar to Earth due to its axial tilt. Reality. Venus has a very small axial tilt of about 3 degrees, meaning it experiences minimal seasonal variation. The planet's climate is largely stable, dominated by its thick atmosphere and intense greenhouse effect. 16. Venus has active volcanoes. Myth. Venus has active volcanoes constantly erupting on its surface. Reality. While there is evidence suggesting that Venus has had volcanic activity in its past and possibly some ongoing activity, definitive proof of current active volcanoes is still lacking. Observations from missions like Venus Express and Magellan have identified volcanic features, but current activity remains uncertain. 17. Venus has large bodies of liquid on its surface. Myth. Venus has large bodies of liquid on its surface, similar to Earth's oceans and lakes. Reality. Venus's surface is extremely hot and dry, with no bodies of liquid water or other substances. The intense heat and pressure make it impossible for liquids to exist in stable form on its surface. 18. Venus is the only planet that spins clockwise. Myth. Venus is the only planet in the solar system that rotates clockwise on its axis. Reality. Venus does have a retrograde rotation, meaning it spins in the opposite direction to most planets. However, it is not unique in having an unusual rotation. Uranus, for example, rotates on its side, which is also quite unique. 19. The surface of Venus is visible through telescopes. Myth. The surface of Venus can be observed directly through telescopes from Earth. Reality. The thick cloud cover of Venus makes it impossible to see its surface with optical telescopes. Radar mapping from spacecraft like Magellan has been used to penetrate the clouds and reveal details of the surface. 20. Venus's atmosphere is similar to Earth's early atmosphere. Myth. Venus's atmosphere today is similar to what Earth's atmosphere was like in its early history. Reality. While there are some similarities in the presence of carbon dioxide, Venus's atmosphere is much denser and more acidic than Earth's early atmosphere. The runaway greenhouse effect on Venus has led to extreme conditions not comparable to any stage of Earth's atmospheric development. 21. Venus has day and night like Earth. Myth: Venus experiences a regular cycle of day and night similar to Earth. Reality: Venus has an extremely slow rotation, taking about 243 Earth days to complete one rotation. Its day-night cycle is further complicated by its retrograde rotation, meaning it rotates in the opposite direction to its orbit around the Sun. This results in very long days and nights. 22. Venus is always the closest planet to Earth. Myth: Venus is always the closest planet to Earth. Reality: while Venus often comes closer to Earth than any other planet, the distances between planets vary due to their elliptical orbits. Sometimes Mercury can be closer to Earth than Venus. 23. Venus's surface is covered in lava. Myth: the entire surface of Venus is covered in molten lava. Reality: although Venus has many volcanic features and evidence of past lava flows, its surface is not entirely covered in lava. It has solidified plains, large highland regions, and numerous volcanic features, but no widespread molten lava. 24. Venus is the hottest planet because it is closest to the Sun. Myth: Venus is the hottest planet in the solar system because it is closest to the Sun. Reality: Venus is actually the second planet from the Sun. Mercury is the closest. However, Venus is hotter than Mercury due to its thick atmosphere, which creates a powerful greenhouse effect trapping heat. 25. Venus's atmosphere is inert and unchanging. Myth: Venus's atmosphere is inert and unchanging with no dynamic weather patterns. Reality: Venus's atmosphere is very dynamic, with fast-moving clouds, strong winds, and phenomena such as lightning and intense storms. The planet's atmosphere undergoes constant change, although it remains inhospitable. 26. Venus's orbit is perfectly circular. Myth: Venus has a perfectly circular orbit around the Sun. Reality: while Venus's orbit is more circular than those of many other planets, it is not perfectly circular. It is slightly elliptical with an eccentricity of about 0.0067. 27. Venus does not experience eclipses. Myth: Venus does not experience any type of eclipses because it has no moons. Reality: while it is true that Venus does not have moons to cause solar or lunar eclipses like those on Earth, it can still experience transits of other planets and stars where these bodies pass directly between Venus and the Sun, albeit these events are rare and not the same as eclipses seen on Earth.
28. Venus has no gravitational influence. Myth: Venus's gravitational influence is negligible compared to Earth's. Reality: Venus has about 90% of Earth's gravity, which means it has a significant gravitational influence. It plays a role in the gravitational interactions within the solar system and can even affect the orbits of asteroids and comets. 9. Venus has no moons because it is too close to the Sun. Myth: Venus has no moons because its proximity to the Sun prevents it from capturing or retaining moons. Reality: while the exact reason Venus lacks moons is not entirely understood, it is not solely due to its proximity to the Sun. Several factors, including its formation history and gravitational interactions, likely contribute to the absence of moons. 30. Venus was known to ancient civilizations as to different objects. Myth: Ancient civilizations believed Venus was to separate celestial objects, the morning star and evening star. Reality: while some ancient cultures initially thought the morning and evening stars were different, they eventually recognized that both were the same object, Venus, seen at different times of the day. This understanding was reached through careful observations over time.
31. Venus's atmosphere is entirely static. Myth: Venus's atmosphere is completely static with no movement or wind. Reality: Venus has incredibly dynamic atmospheric conditions with high-speed winds reaching up to 360 km/h to 124 miles per hour at the cloud tops. These winds are much faster than the planet's rotation and contribute to a phenomenon known as superrotation. 32. Venus's surface is smooth. Myth. Venus's surface is smooth and featureless due to its dense atmosphere and volcanic activity. Reality. Venus's surface is varied and includes mountains, valleys, vast plains, and numerous volcanic features. It is anything but smooth, with rugged terrain and large geological formations. 33. Venus has large polar ice caps. Myth. Venus has large polar ice caps similar to those on Earth and Mars. Reality. Venus is far too hot to support ice caps. Its surface temperatures are high enough to prevent any form of ice from existing, even at the poles. 34. Venus's day is shorter than its year. Myth. Like Earth, Venus's day is shorter than its year. Reality. Venus has an extremely long day, taking about 243 Earth days to complete one rotation. Interestingly, its year-one orbit around the Sun is about 225 Earth days, making a day on Venus longer than its year. 35. Venus can support human colonies with advanced technology. Myth. With advanced technology, humans could easily colonize Venus. Reality. While advances in technology might someday allow for exploration, the extreme conditions on Venus make it a highly challenging environment for human colonization. The high temperatures, pressure, and corrosive atmosphere present significant obstacles. 36. Venus's atmosphere is transparent. Myth. Venus's atmosphere is clear enough that sunlight can penetrate directly to the surface. Reality. Venus's thick atmosphere is filled with clouds of sulfuric acid, which scatter and absorb sunlight. Only a small fraction of sunlight reaches the surface, contributing to the planet's intense heat but not providing clear visibility. 37. Venus has plate tectonics like Earth. Myth. Venus has an active system of plate tectonics similar to Earth's. Reality. Unlike Earth, Venus does not have clear evidence of plate tectonics. Its surface shows signs of significant volcanic and tectonic activity, but it lacks the large, shifting plates that characterize Earth's geology. 38. Venus's surface can be seen in visible light. Myth. We can observe the surface of Venus using visible light telescopes. Reality. Venus's thick cloud cover prevents visible light from penetrating to the surface. Observations of the surface are made using radar and other wavelengths that can pass through the dense atmosphere. 39. Venus reflects all incoming solar radiation. Myth. Venus's bright appearance is due to it reflecting all incoming solar radiation. Reality. While Venus is very reflective due to its thick clouds with an albedo of about 0.7, it does not reflect all incoming solar radiation. The planet absorbs some of the sunlight, contributing to its extreme surface temperatures. 40. Venus's clouds are made of methane. Myth. The clouds on Venus are composed mainly of methane, similar to some outer solar system bodies. Reality. Venus's clouds are primarily made of sulfuric acid droplets. Methane is not a significant component of Venus's atmosphere, which is dominated by carbon dioxide. 41. Venus has oceans of liquid sulfur. Myth. Venus has vast oceans of liquid sulfur on its surface. Reality. While Venus has sulfuric acid clouds, it does not have oceans of liquid sulfur. The planet's surface is solid rock and volcanic plains with no evidence of liquid sulfur oceans. 42. Venus has lightning storms similar to Earth. Myth. Venus experiences lightning storms that are similar to those on Earth. Reality. While there is some evidence suggesting the presence of lightning in Venus's atmosphere, it is not well understood and differs significantly from Earth's lightning storms. The exact nature and frequency of lightning on Venus remain subjects of scientific investigation. 43. Venus's clouds make it the most humid planet. Myth. The clouds of Venus make it the most humid planet in the solar system. Reality. Despite its thick clouds, Venus is extremely dry. The clouds are composed of sulfuric acid, not water, and the atmosphere has very little water vapor, making it far from humid. 44. Venus is visible from the surface of Mars. Myth: Venus can be easily seen from the surface of Mars with the naked eye. Reality: while Venus can appear as a bright object in the Martian sky, the visibility depends on the positions of the planets in their respective orbits. It would not always be easily visible, and atmospheric conditions on Mars could also affect visibility. 45. Venus's orbit is perfectly aligned with Earth's. Myth: Venus's orbit is perfectly aligned with Earth's, making it the easiest planet to observe. Reality: Venus's orbit is inclined at about 3.4 degrees relative to Earth's orbital plane. This inclination means that Venus is not always perfectly aligned with Earth, though its relative proximity does make it one of the most easily observed planets.
46. Venus is tidally locked to the Sun. Myth: Venus is tidally locked to the Sun, showing only one side to it at all times. Reality: Venus is not tidally locked to the Sun. It has a very slow and retrograde rotation, meaning it rotates in the opposite direction of its orbit around the Sun, but it still completes a full rotation relative to the Sun. 47. Venus's atmosphere is calm at ground level. Myth: The atmosphere of Venus is calm and serene at ground level. Reality: Venus's atmosphere is anything but calm at ground level. The high pressure, extreme temperatures, and thick clouds contribute to a harsh and turbulent environment. 48. Venus is made mostly of ice. Myth: Venus has a core or surface made mostly of ice. Reality: Venus is a rocky planet with no ice. Its core is composed of metal, and its surface is made of solid rock and volcanic materials, with surface conditions far too hot for ice to exist. 49. Venus has seasons like Earth. Myth: Venus has seasons comparable to Earth's because it orbits the Sun. Reality: Venus's very small axial tilt means it experiences negligible seasonal changes. The planet's weather is dominated by its dense atmosphere and intense greenhouse effect rather than any axial tilt. 50. Venus's clouds are lethal to humans. Myth: Venus's clouds are instantly lethal to humans, even in small amounts. Reality: the clouds of Venus are composed of sulfuric acid, which is indeed highly corrosive and toxic to humans. However, the extreme pressure and temperature of the atmosphere are the primary immediate threats, rather than the composition of the clouds alone.
51. Venus's surface is constantly resurfacing. Myth: Venus's surface is constantly being renewed by volcanic activity. Reality: while Venus has evidence of past volcanic activity and there are signs it may have had recent eruptions, the surface is not constantly being renewed. The last major resurfacing event is estimated to have occurred hundreds of millions of years ago. 52. Venus has rings like Saturn. Myth: Venus has a ring system similar to Saturn's. Reality: Venus does not have rings. Saturn is the most well-known planet with a prominent ring system, but Venus lacks such a feature. 53. Venus's surface is covered in water ice. Myth: Venus has regions on its surface covered in water ice. Reality: Venus is far too hot for water ice to exist on its surface. The surface temperatures are high enough to melt lead, ensuring no ice can form or remain. 54. Venus is visible all night long. Myth: Venus can be seen in the night sky all night long. Reality: Venus is usually visible only shortly after sunset or before sunrise, earning it the names evening star and morning star. It is never visible all night long due to its orbit being closer to the Sun than Earth's. 55. Venus was formed from a collision. Myth: Venus was formed from the remnants of a massive collision with another planetary body. Reality: while planetary collisions are a part of solar system history, Venus formed through the same process as the other planets, the accretion of matter in the early solar system. There is no evidence to suggest it formed from a specific collision event. 56. Venus's mountains are taller than Everest. Myth: the mountains on Venus are taller than Mount Everest on Earth. Reality: Venus does have high mountains, such as Maxwell Montes, which rise about 11 kilometers 7 miles above the mean surface level. However, Mount Everest, Earth's tallest peak above sea level, is approximately 8.8 kilometers 5.5 miles tall. Maxwell Montes is indeed taller, but Venus's overall topography is not directly comparable to Earth's due to different reference points and conditions. 57. Venus has liquid lakes of sulfuric acid. Myth. Venus has liquid lakes of sulfuric acid on its surface. Reality. While Venus has clouds composed of sulfuric acid droplets, the surface temperatures are too high for any liquids to exist, including sulfuric acid. Any such compounds would quickly vaporize. 58. Venus's atmosphere is pure carbon dioxide. Myth. The atmosphere of Venus is composed entirely of carbon dioxide. Reality. Venus's atmosphere is predominantly carbon dioxide, about 96.5%, but it also contains nitrogen, about 3.5%, and trace amounts of other gases, including sulfur dioxide and water vapor. 59. Venus is the most Earth-like planet in all respects. Myth. Venus is the most Earth-like planet in every way, including its climate and potential for life. Reality. While Venus is similar to Earth in size and mass, its extreme temperatures, atmospheric pressure, and composition make it vastly different from Earth. Mars is often considered more Earth-like in terms of climate and potential for past or present life. 60. Venus is named after a Greek goddess. Myth. Venus is named after a Greek goddess. Reality. Venus is named after the Roman goddess of love and beauty. The Greek equivalent is Aphrodite, but the planet's name comes from Roman mythology. 61. Venus's surface is older than Earth's. Myth. The surface of Venus is older than that of Earth. Reality. The surface of Venus is geologically young, estimated to be about 300 to 500 million years old due to volcanic resurfacing. In contrast, Earth's surface has areas that are billions of years old, although it is constantly renewed by plate tectonics. 62. Venus's rotation period is decreasing. Myth. The rotation period of Venus is gradually decreasing. Reality. The rotation period of Venus is actually increasing, meaning the planet is slowing down very slightly over time. Observations from spacecraft have detected this slow deceleration, possibly due to atmospheric tides and interactions with the Sun. 63. Venus's poles are the coldest places in the solar system. Myth. The poles of Venus are the coldest places in the solar system. Reality. Venus's poles are not the coldest places in the solar system. They are cooler than the equatorial regions due to less direct sunlight, but they are still extremely hot by Earth standards. The coldest known place in the solar system is on Neptune's moon Triton. 64. Venus has the most moons in the solar system. Myth. Venus has more moons than any other planet in the solar system. Reality. Venus has no moons at all. Jupiter holds the record for the most moons, with over 80 confirmed. 65. Venus's day and night cycles affect its temperature dramatically. Myth. The day and night cycles on Venus cause significant temperature variations. Reality. Venus's thick atmosphere creates a strong greenhouse effect that distributes heat evenly across the planet. As a result, there is little temperature variation between the day and night sides.
66. Venus has continents and oceans. Myth. Venus has continents and oceans similar to Earth. Reality. Venus does not have liquid water or continents like Earth. Its surface is composed of volcanic plains, highland regions, and extensive lava flows without any large bodies of water. 67. Venus has auroras like Earth. Myth. Venus experiences auroras similar to the northern and southern lights on Earth. Reality. Venus does not have a significant magnetic field to produce auroras like those on Earth. While there are some interactions between the solar wind and Venus's atmosphere, they do not result in visible auroras. 68. Venus's surface temperature varies greatly. Myth. The surface temperature of Venus varies greatly depending on the location and time. Reality. The surface temperature of Venus is remarkably uniform due to its dense atmosphere and slow rotation, averaging around 475 C900F across the entire planet. 69. Venus was named by NASA. Myth. The name Venus was given to the planet by NASA. Reality. The planet Venus has been known by that name since ancient times, long before NASA or modern astronomy. It was named after the Roman goddess of love and beauty by early astronomers. 70. Venus is the least studied planet myth. Venus is the least studied planet in the solar system. Reality: Venus has been extensively studied by various space missions, including those by NASA, the Soviet Union, and the European Space Agency. Missions like Magellan, Venera, and Venus Express have provided a wealth of data about the planet.
71. Venus is the driest planet. Myth: Venus is the driest planet in the solar system. Reality: while Venus has an extremely dry atmosphere compared to Earth, it is not the driest planet. Mercury holds that distinction with virtually no atmosphere and therefore no measurable humidity or water content. 72. Venus has no gravity. Myth: Venus has no gravity. Reality: Venus has gravity that is about 90% that of Earth's. This means objects would weigh slightly less on Venus than on Earth, but gravity is still a significant force on the planet. 73. Venus has permanent storms. Myth: Venus experiences permanent and ending storms across its entire surface. Reality: while Venus has a highly dynamic atmosphere with fast-moving clouds and possible lightning, it does not have permanent storms covering its entire surface. Atmospheric activity is intense but not uniformly stormy everywhere. 74. Venus is a source of helium-3. Myth: Venus is a significant source of helium-3, a rare isotope sought for potential use in nuclear fusion. Reality: helium-3 is more commonly associated with the Moon, where it is thought to be embedded in the regolith by solar wind. Venus's atmosphere and surface conditions do not make it a notable source of helium-3. 75. Venus is the brightest object in the night sky. Myth: Venus is the brightest object in the night sky. Reality: Venus is one of the brightest objects in the night sky, but it is outshone by the Moon. Venus is, however, the brightest planet visible from Earth. 76. Venus is similar to Earth's moon. Myth: Venus is similar in many respects to Earth's moon. Reality: Venus and Earth's moon are vastly different. Venus is a rocky planet with a thick, toxic atmosphere and extreme surface conditions, while the Moon is a relatively airless, barren body with significantly different geological and environmental characteristics. 77. Venus has a thick ice crust. Myth: Venus has a thick crust of ice covering its surface. Reality: Venus's high surface temperatures make the presence of ice impossible. Its crust is composed of rock and volcanic material with no ice whatsoever. 78. Venus has plate tectonics that resemble Earth's. Myth: Venus has a system of plate tectonics that is similar to Earth's. Reality: Venus lacks a system of plate tectonics like Earth's. While it has tectonic and volcanic activity, it does not have the large, moving plates that characterize Earth's geology. 79. Venus is completely smooth due to lava flows. Myth: Venus's surface is completely smooth due to extensive lava flows. Reality: Venus's surface is not completely smooth. It features rugged terrain, mountains, valleys, and volcanic plains. While lava flows have shaped much of its landscape, there is significant variation in topography. 80. Venus is only visible during eclipses. Myth: Venus can only be seen during solar or lunar eclipses. Reality: Venus is visible in the sky as the morning star or evening star and does not require an eclipse to be seen. It is often one of the brightest objects visible in the dawn or dusk sky. 81. Venus's core is solid ice. Myth: Venus has a core made of solid ice. Reality: Venus's core is thought to be similar to Earth's, composed of a mixture of metals like iron and nickel, not ice. The planet's extremely high temperatures make the presence of ice impossible. 82. Venus can be observed with the naked eye during the day. Myth: Venus can be observed with the naked eye during the day. Reality: while Venus is very bright, it is usually not visible during the day with the naked eye due to the brightness of the sun. It can sometimes be seen with the aid of telescopes or under very specific conditions at dawn or dusk. 83. Venus has liquid water oceans beneath its surface. Myth: Venus has hidden oceans of liquid water beneath its surface. Reality: there is no evidence to support the existence of liquid water oceans beneath Venus's surface. The planet's extreme temperatures and pressures make it unlikely for liquid water to exist anywhere on or under its surface. 84. Venus's surface is less pressurized than Earth's. Myth: the surface pressure on Venus is less than that on Earth. Reality: Venus's surface pressure is about 92 times that of Earth's at sea level, making it one of the most extreme pressure environments in the solar system. 85. Venus has a ring system made of dust. Myth: Venus has a faint ring system composed of dust. Reality: Venus does not have a ring system. The idea of rings around Venus is a myth with no observational evidence to support it. 86. Venus's atmosphere is cool and breezy. Myth: the atmosphere of Venus is cool and breezy, making it comfortable for exploration. Reality: Venus's atmosphere is extremely hot and hostile, with surface temperatures around 475 degrees Celsius (900 degrees Fahrenheit), and winds that can reach speeds of up to 360 kilometers per hour (224 miles per hour). It is anything but cool and breezy.
87. Venus is the most similar planet to Earth. Myth: Venus is the most similar planet to Earth in every way, making it an ideal candidate for life. Reality: while Venus is similar in size and mass to Earth, its extreme temperatures, high pressure, and corrosive atmosphere make it vastly different and unsuitable for life as we know it. Mars is considered more Earth-like in terms of conditions that might support life. 88. Venus's surface temperature is cooler than Mercury's. Myth: the surface temperature of Venus is cooler than Mercury's because it is farther from the Sun. Reality: despite being farther from the Sun, Venus is hotter than Mercury due to its dense atmosphere and runaway greenhouse effect, making it the hottest planet in the solar system. 89. Venus is named after a Roman warrior god. Myth: Venus is named after a Roman warrior god. Reality: Venus is named after the Roman goddess of love and beauty. Mars is the Roman god of war, not Venus. 90. Venus has a thicker atmosphere than Jupiter. Myth: Venus has a thicker atmosphere than Jupiter. Reality: while Venus has a thick atmosphere compared to Earth, Jupiter's atmosphere is much thicker and more massive, with layers extending deep into the planet. 91. Venus experiences catastrophic meteor showers regularly. Myth: Venus regularly experiences catastrophic meteor showers. Reality: while Venus does get impacted by meteoroids, there is no evidence to suggest it experiences catastrophic meteor showers any more frequently than other planets in the inner solar system. 92. Venus's clouds are purple. Myth: the clouds on Venus are purple due to some unique atmospheric composition. Reality: the clouds of Venus appear yellowish due to the sulfuric acid and other chemicals present in the atmosphere. There is no indication that the clouds are purple. 93. Venus's orbit is highly eccentric. Myth: Venus's orbit around the Sun is highly eccentric, leading to significant variations in distance from the Sun. Reality: Venus has one of the most circular orbits of all the planets, with very little eccentricity, resulting in a relatively constant distance from the Sun. 94. Venus has large, floating ice lands. Myth: Venus has large islands that float in its atmosphere. Reality: there are no floating islands in Venus's atmosphere. The planet's surface is solid and its atmosphere, while thick, does not contain floating land masses.
95. Venus is the only planet visible with the naked eye. Myth: Venus is the only planet that can be seen with the naked eye. Reality: several planets, including Mercury, Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn, are visible to the naked eye from Earth. Venus is simply one of the brightest. 96. Venus's atmosphere contains large amounts of oxygen. Myth: Venus's atmosphere contains large amounts of oxygen similar to Earth's. Reality: Venus's atmosphere is composed primarily of carbon dioxide 96.5% with very little oxygen, making it inhospitable for human life and combustion. 97. Venus is always directly opposite the Sun in the sky. Myth: Venus is always directly opposite the Sun in the sky, making it visible all night. Reality: Venus is an inferior planet, meaning it orbits closer to the Sun than Earth. It appears as either the morning star or evening star, but is never directly opposite the Sun. 98. Venus has lush, rainforest-like conditions. Myth: Venus has lush, rainforest-like conditions due to its thick clouds and atmosphere. Reality: Venus's conditions are extremely harsh with high temperatures, crushing pressures, and sulfuric acid clouds. It is a barren, volcanic landscape, not a lush rainforest. 99. Venus can be colonized with existing technology. Myth: With existing technology, humans could colonize Venus. Reality: Current technology is not sufficient to establish a human colony on Venus due to its extreme temperatures, pressures, and corrosive atmosphere. It presents significant challenges that require advanced future technology. 100. Venus has active geysers spewing water vapor. Myth: Venus has active geysers on its surface spewing water vapor into its atmosphere. Reality: Venus is too hot for liquid water to exist on its surface, let alone geysers. Its surface temperatures are well above the boiling point of water, making the presence of water vapor unlikely and certainly not in the form of geysers. 101. Venus has seasons caused by axial tilt. Myth: Venus experiences seasons caused by axial tilt similar to Earth. Reality: Venus has a very small axial tilt of about 2.64 degrees compared to Earth's 23.5 degrees. This small tilt means it experiences minimal seasonal variation in temperature, unlike Earth. 102. Venus has a surface made of precious metals. Myth: Venus's surface is composed of precious metals like gold and platinum. Reality: Venus's surface is primarily composed of basaltic rock and volcanic plains. There is no evidence to suggest that it contains significant amounts of precious metals. 103. Venus has deep canyons comparable to Valles Marineris on Mars. Myth: Venus has deep canyons similar to Valles Marineris on Mars. Reality: While Venus does have some canyons and rift valleys, they are not as deep or extensive as Valles Marineris on Mars. The geological features on Venus are distinct from those on Mars. 104. Venus has strong magnetic fields. Myth: Venus has strong magnetic fields like Earth, protecting it from solar winds and radiation. Reality: Venus has a very weak magnetic field, much weaker than Earth's. This lack of a strong magnetic field contributes to the stripping away of its atmosphere by solar wind over time. 105. Venus's atmosphere extends far into space. Myth: Venus's atmosphere extends far into space, creating a visible halo around the planet. Reality: While Venus has a dense atmosphere, it does not extend far into space. The atmosphere gradually thins out with increasing altitude, unlike gas giants like Jupiter, which have much more extensive atmospheres. 106. Venus is the closest planet to the Sun. Myth: Venus is the closest planet to the Sun. Reality: Mercury is the closest planet to the Sun, not Venus. Venus is the second planet from the Sun. 107. Venus has polar ice caps. Myth: Venus has polar ice caps similar to those on Earth. Reality: Venus is too hot to support ice caps at its poles. Its surface temperatures are far above the freezing point of water, making the existence of polar ice caps impossible. 108. Venus has a system of ringed mountains. Myth: Venus has a system of ringed mountains surrounding large impact craters. Reality: While Venus does have impact craters and mountains, there is no evidence to suggest the presence of ringed mountains specifically surrounding craters. Each planet has unique geological features shaped by its own environmental conditions. 109. Venus has rivers and lakes of liquid metal. Myth: Venus has rivers and lakes of liquid metal on its surface. Reality: Venus's surface conditions are too hot for liquid metals like mercury to exist. Its surface is composed of solid rock and volcanic plains without any evidence of liquid metal bodies. 110. Venus's surface glows at night. Myth. Venus's surface emits a faint glow visible from space due to volcanic activity. Reality. Venus's surface does not emit a visible glow. Any volcanic activity on Venus would not produce a glow visible from space, as the planet's atmosphere would likely obscure such emissions. These myths and realities about Venus highlight the fascinating characteristics and challenges associated with Earth's closest planetary neighbor, 111. Venus has a large population of extraterrestrial life. Myth. Venus harbors a large population of extraterrestrial life forms. Reality. There is currently no evidence to support the existence of life on Venus. Its harsh surface conditions, including extreme temperatures and acidic atmosphere, make it highly inhospitable to life as we know it. 112. Venus's clouds reflect 100% of sunlight. Myth. Venus's clouds reflect 100% of sunlight, making it appear brighter than other planets. Reality. Venus's clouds reflect about 70% of incoming sunlight, which contributes to its brightness in the sky. However, it does not reflect 100% of sunlight. 113. Venus has a regular schedule of solar eclipses. Myth. Venus experiences regular solar eclipses due to its orbit. Reality. Venus, like Earth, can only experience transits across the Sun when it passes directly between the Sun and Earth. These transits are rare and not regular events. 114. Venus was once a moon of Jupiter. Myth. Venus was once a moon of Jupiter before becoming a planet. Reality. Venus has always been a planet. There is no evidence or scientific theory suggesting it was ever a moon of Jupiter or any other planet. 115. Venus has seasons similar to Earth. Myth. Venus experiences seasons similar to Earth due to its axial tilt. Reality. While Venus has a small axial tilt, its thick atmosphere and slow rotation result in minimal seasonal temperature variations compared to Earth. 116. Venus's surface contains vast deposits of diamonds. Myth. Venus's surface contains vast deposits of diamonds. Reality. There is no evidence to suggest that Venus's surface contains diamonds or any other precious gems. Its geology is dominated by volcanic rock and plains. 117. Venus was once habitable like Earth. Myth. Venus was once habitable like Earth, with oceans and a moderate climate. Reality. Venus is believed to have had more Earth-like conditions early in its history, but the greenhouse effect caused by its thick atmosphere led to a runaway heating process, making it uninhabitable for billions of years. 118. Venus is inhabited by advanced alien civilizations. Myth. Venus is inhabited by advanced alien civilizations that have hidden themselves from human observation. Reality. There is no credible evidence to support the existence of advanced alien civilizations on Venus or anywhere else in the solar system. 119. Venus's atmosphere contains methane. Myth. Venus's atmosphere contains methane, similar to the atmosphere of Saturn's moon Titan. Reality. Venus's atmosphere is primarily composed of carbon dioxide with trace amounts of other gases like nitrogen and sulfur dioxide. There is no methane detected in significant quantities. 120. Venus has active plate tectonics. Myth. Venus has active plate tectonics similar to Earth. Reality. While Venus does have volcanic and tectonic activity, it lacks the large-scale plate tectonics found on Earth, where crustal plates move and interact over time. These myths and realities offer insight into the unique characteristics and scientific understanding of Venus, revealing both its mysteries and known facts. 121. Venus has a magnetosphere. Myth. Venus has a strong magnetosphere like Earth, protecting it from solar winds and radiation. Reality. Venus has a very weak magnetosphere, much weaker than Earth's. This results in its atmosphere being gradually stripped away by solar wind over time. 122. Venus has active volcanoes erupting regularly. Myth. Venus has active volcanoes that erupt regularly, reshaping its surface. Reality. While Venus has evidence of past volcanic activity, there are no current observations of active volcanoes erupting on its surface. The planet's surface changes are more likely due to volcanic remnants rather than ongoing eruptions. 123. Venus experiences earthquakes. Myth. Venus experiences earthquakes or venusquakes like Earth due to tectonic activity. Reality. Venus does not have tectonic plates that can shift and cause earthquakes like Earth. Its geological activity, including possible seismic events, is more related to volcanic and internal processes rather than plate tectonics. 124. Venus's surface is covered in yellow flowers. Myth. Venus's surface is covered in yellow flowers as imagined in some artistic representations. Reality. Venus's surface is barren and inhospitable with no known vegetation or flowering plants. Its landscape is dominated by volcanic rock, plains, and rugged terrain. 125. Venus has a large population of ancient ruins. Myth. Venus has a large population of ancient ruins or structures left behind by a past civilization. Reality. There is no evidence to support the existence of ancient ruins or structures on Venus. The planet's harsh conditions make it unlikely to have ever supported advanced civilizations. 126. Venus's clouds can support floating cities. Myth. Venus's thick clouds could potentially support floating cities or habitats for human colonization. Reality. While the idea of floating cities on Venus has been explored in science fiction, the extreme temperatures, high atmospheric pressure, and acidic clouds present significant challenges that make such concepts unrealistic with current technology. 127. Venus has giant sand dunes. Myth. Venus has giant sand dunes similar to those found in deserts on Earth. Reality. Venus's surface features are primarily rocky and volcanic without the sandy desert environments seen on Earth. Its atmospheric conditions and lack of wind as seen on Earth do not support the formation of large sand dunes. 128. Venus was once a moon of Saturn. Myth. Venus was once a moon of Saturn before becoming a planet. Reality. Venus has always been a planet in its current orbit around the Sun. There is no scientific evidence to suggest it was ever a moon of Saturn or any other planet. 129. Venus's atmosphere contains oxygen. Myth. Venus's atmosphere contains significant amounts of oxygen, similar to Earth's atmosphere. Reality. Venus's atmosphere is composed primarily of carbon dioxide with very little oxygen present. It lacks the conditions necessary to support life as we know it on Earth. 130. Venus's gravity is stronger than Earth's. Myth. Venus has stronger gravity than Earth, making it difficult for spacecraft to land or take off. Reality. Venus's gravity is about 90% of Earth's gravity. While it is slightly less, it is not significantly different and would not pose substantial challenges beyond those encountered in Earth's gravity. These myths and realities provide further exploration into the characteristics and scientific understanding of Venus, highlighting the differences between speculation and confirmed knowledge.
131. Venus has underground cavesmith. Venus has extensive underground caves or caverns beneath its surface. Reality. While Venus has rugged terrain and volcanic features, there is no evidence to suggest the existence of extensive underground caves or cavern systems similar to those found on Earth. 132. Venus has polar ice caps made of dry ice. Myth. Venus has polar ice caps composed of dry ice frozen carbon dioxide. Reality. Venus is too hot for dry ice to exist on its surface. Its temperatures are far above the freezing point of carbon dioxide, making the presence of dry ice caps impossible. 133. Venus is the largest terrestrial planet. Myth. Venus is the largest terrestrial planet in the solar system. Reality. Venus is similar in size to Earth, with the diameter only slightly smaller. The largest terrestrial planet in the solar system is actually Earth. 134. Venus has rivers of liquid metal. Myth. Venus has rivers of liquid metal flowing on its surface. Reality. Venus's surface temperatures are too high for liquid metals like mercury to exist. Its geology consists of volcanic rock and plains, not liquid metal rivers. 135. Venus has active weather satellites. Myth. Venus has active weather satellites monitoring its atmospheric conditions. Reality. While spacecraft have been sent to Venus to study its atmosphere and surface, they are not in continuous operation like Earth's weather satellites. Observations are made intermittently as missions allow. 136. Venus has regular lightning storms. Myth. Venus experiences regular lightning storms similar to those on Earth. Reality. Venus does experience lightning, but it is different from Earth's lightning. Venusian lightning is believed to be caused by the interaction of sulfuric acid clouds, unlike Earth's lightning, which involves water droplets. 137. Venus's surface glows in the dark. Myth. Venus's surface emits a faint glow visible from space or during the night. Reality. Venus's surface does not emit a visible glow. Any light seen from Venus is due to reflected sunlight or possibly lightning in its atmosphere, but not from its surface.
138. Venus was discovered by Galileo. Myth. Venus was discovered by the astronomer Galileo Galilei. Reality. Venus has been known since ancient times and was observed by many civilizations, including the Babylonians, Greeks, and Romans. Galileo made significant observations of Venus, but he did not discover it. 139. Venus has lakes of liquid hydrocarbons. Myth. Venus has lakes or seas of liquid hydrocarbons similar to those found on Saturn's moon Titan. Reality. Venus's surface temperatures are too high for liquid hydrocarbons to exist. Its atmosphere and surface conditions are not conducive to the formation of liquid lakes or seas. 140. Venus has a magnetic field stronger than Earth's. Myth. Venus has a magnetic field stronger than Earth's, protecting it from solar winds and radiation. Reality. Venus has a very weak magnetic field, much weaker than Earth's. This contributes to its thinning atmosphere and exposure to solar wind. 141. Venus has a large population of birds. Myth. Venus has a large population of birds flying in its atmosphere. Reality. Venus's harsh conditions, including high temperatures and acidic clouds, make it inhospitable for any form of life as we know it, including birds. 142. Venus has liquid lava oceans. Myth. Venus has liquid lava oceans covering its entire surface. Reality. Venus does have volcanic activity and lava flows, but it does not have oceans of liquid lava. Its surface is a mix of volcanic plains, highlands, and impact craters. 143. Venus has transparent clouds. Myth. Venus's clouds are transparent, allowing views of its surface from space. Reality. Venus's clouds are thick and opaque, primarily composed of sulfuric acid droplets. They obscure views of the planet's surface from space. 144. Venus has blue skies. Myth. Venus has blue skies similar to Earth. Reality. Venus's thick atmosphere scatters sunlight differently than Earth's atmosphere, resulting in a yellowish-white sky rather than blue. 145. Venus has Earth-like gravity wells. Myth. Venus has gravity wells similar to those on Earth, affecting spacecraft trajectories. Reality. Venus's gravity affects spacecraft differently than Earth's due to its lower mass and smaller size. However, it is not significantly different enough to cause significant issues for spacecraft operations. These myths and realities continue to explore the unique characteristics and scientific understanding of Venus, providing insights into its composition, environment, and potential for exploration. 146. Venus has oceans of liquid methane. Myth. Venus has oceans of liquid methane on its surface. Reality. Venus's surface temperatures are far too high for liquid methane to exist. Its conditions are vastly different from those of Saturn's moon Titan, which does have lakes and seas of liquid methane and ethane. 147. Venus's surface is smooth and featureless. Myth. Venus's surface is smooth and featureless, lacking significant geological features. Reality. Venus's surface is quite varied, with extensive volcanic plains, mountains, craters, and rift valleys. Its landscape is shaped by volcanic and tectonic activity. 148. Venus has permanent storm systems. Myth. Venus has permanent storm systems similar to Jupiter's Great Red Spot. Reality. While Venus has atmospheric turbulence and cloud formations, there are no known permanent storm systems like Jupiter's Great Red Spot. Venus's weather patterns are influenced by its slow rotation and thick atmosphere. 149. Venus's surface is covered in water ice. Myth. Venus's surface is covered in water ice. Reality. Venus's surface temperatures are extremely high, averaging around 465 degrees Celsius (869 degrees Fahrenheit), making the presence of water ice impossible. Venus has a ring system like Saturn. Myth. Venus has a ring system similar to Saturn's. Reality. Venus does not have a ring system. Its proximity to the Sun and lack of significant moons likely prevent the formation of rings.